Happy and energetic day, dear children. I welcome you all to the English Corner. Children, today we are going to learn a new topic, new chapter. Prose. The name of the lesson is Fair Play. What is the name of the lesson, dear? Fair Play. Right? Before you read, has your best friend ever done something you thought was wrong? You may thought it was wrong, but your friend would have done that. Is there any incident? Share it with me. Okay, what did you do then? Did you keep quiet or did you tell your friend what you thought? So, this is a story about two friends who had to decide what was more important, friendship or enmity. Okay, or a sense of what is right and what is wrong. That is what is the moral of the story here. Friendship, fully based on friendship. The story is fully based on friendship. Shall we enter into the lesson, dear? Right, part 1. You have part 3 parts in this story. Right, part 1. Juman Shaikh and Algu Chaudhry were very good friends. Who are the friends? Juman Shaikh and Algu Chaudhry were very good friends. So strong their bond of friendship that when either of them went away from the village, the other looked after his family. One went out of the village, the other friend will take care of his family. Both were greatly respected in the village because of his friendship. Of the friendship, they were respected. Juman had an old aunt who had some property. This she transferred to him. To whom? Juman. On the understanding that she would stay with him and he would look after her. Okay, what happened? Juman had an old auntie and nobody is there to take care of her. So, what happened? Juman's auntie said she had some property and she will transfer to Juman, and Juman has to take care of this auntie till her death. The arrangement worked well for a couple of years. Couple of years means 2 years. Then the situation changed. What is the situation? That is what we are going to learn now. Juman and his family were tired of the old relative. Now, Juman became as indifferent to her as his wife. So, after his wife came, Juman was behaving in an indifferent way to his aunt, who grudged even the little food that the old auntie wanted every day. So she swallowed these insults. So she is not giving proper food to auntie. She swallowed these insults along with her food for few months. But patience has its limit, isn't it? Patience has its limit. One day, she spoke to Juman. My son, it is now obvious that I am not wanted in your house. Kindly give me a monthly allowance so that I can set up a separate kitchen. My wife knows best how to run the house. Be patient. Who said this? Juman. Juman said shamelessly. This made his aunt very angry and she decided to take her case to the village panchayat. See, even a few amount of food she cannot offer to auntie. Then how can she run the family in a proper way, in a best way? So that is what auntie got very angry and she decided to go to village panchayat. For many days, old lady was seen talking to the villagers, explaining her case and seeking their support. Some sympathized with her, others laughed at her, and few others advised her. So Juman's aunt went to villages and she was going on saying about her son and his wife. about Juman and his wife, right? So some advised her to make it up with her nephew and his wife. At last, she came to Algu Chaudhry and spoke to him. Who is Algu Chaudhry? Juman's best friend. You know, Chachi, Juman is my best friend. How can I go against him? Algu said. But is it right, my son, to keep mum and not say what you consider just and fair? Pleaded the old lady. Come to the panchayat and speak the truth, she said. Algu didn't reply, but her words kept ringing in his ears and mind. Right? So now, can you able to understand part 1? Juman's aunt had a problem, and this is coming to panchayat along with Algu's support. Algu is Juman's best friend. Now the panchayat was held the same evening under an old banyan tree. In villages, you all could have seen in movies that panchayat will be held in old banyan tree. Juman stood up and said, "The voice of the Panch is the voice of God." Who said? Juman said, "The voice of the Panch is the voice of God. Let my aunt nominate the head Panch. I will abide by her decision." So, Juman is asking auntie to select a panchayat leader. The Panch knows neither friend nor enemy. When you go to a panchayat leader position, then you should not be unfair. You have to be proper, judge properly, so that you should not consider friend as well as enemy. No friend, neither friend nor enemy. What do you say to Algu Chaudhry? The old lady announced. "Fine," replied Juman, hiding his joy. "Why?" "Because Algu is his best friend." Right? So, "Fine," replied Juman, hiding his joy over this unexpected piece of luck. "Chachi, you are aware of my friendship with Juman," said Algu. So, at that time also, Algu is saying to auntie not to select him. "I know that," replied the aunt, "but I also know that you will not kill your conscience for the sake of friendship. God lives in the heart of the Panch, and his voice is the voice of God." And the old lady explained her case. Juman said, "Algu, you and I are old friends. Your auntie is as dear to me as you. Now I am a Panch. You and your aunt are equal before me. What have you to say in your defense?" So, on behalf of you, what you are going to say that? 3 years ago, began Juman, my aunt transferred her property to me. I promised to support her as long as she lived. I have done all I could. There have been a couple of quarrels between my wife and her, but I cannot stop it. Now, my aunt is claiming a monthly allowance from me. This is not possible. That's all I have to say. So, what Juman said? He said all the truth and accepted that monthly allowance is not possible. Right? He said a couple of quarrels, only 2 times quarrel happened between my wife and aunt. Right? That is one thing which is contradictory. Now, Juman was cross-examined by Algu and others. Then Algu announced, "We have gone into the matter carefully. In our opinion, Juman must pay his aunt a monthly allowance, or else the property goes back to her. Right? So now two friends were seldom seen together. The bond of friendship, what happened to the bond of friendship between them was broken. In fact, Juman and Algu's enemy and wanted his revenge. Right? Juman was Algu's enemy now. He wanted to take revenge about that. Why? Because he gave the decision, justice, to his aunt, not to him. What is the decision? He has to pay monthly allowance to auntie, or he has to give back the property. This was the decision. Right? Now, children, I hope you understood part 1 and part 2. Right? Now, part 3. Days passed, and as ill luck would have it, Algu Chaudhary found himself in a tight spot. One of his fine pair of bullocks died, and he sold the other to Samju Sahu, a cart driver of the village. So what happened to Algu Chaudhary? Algu Chaudhary's financial position was very tight. He had no money and he had 2 bullocks, right? And one died. Another one he sold to Samju Sahu. One of his fine pair of bullocks died and he sold the other one to Samju Sahu, a cart driver of the village. The understanding was that Sahu would pay the price of the bullock in a month's time, in 1 month's time. So it so happened that the bullock died within a month. The other bullock also died within a month. Several months after the bullock's death, Algu reminded Sahu of the money he hadn't yet paid. So you bought a bullock from me. You said you will pay it within 1 month, but so many months are over. You wouldn't pay the money back. He asked. Who asked? Algu asked to Samju Sahu. But what happened? Algu reminded Sahu of the money he hadn't yet paid. Sahu got very annoyed. I can't pay you a penny for the wretched beast you sold me. He's saying very angrily that he cannot pay even a penny, 1 paise, even a penny for the wretched beast you sold me. He brought us nothing but ruin. So what happened? The bullock brought me a loss, not even a single penny gain. I have a bullock, use it for a month and then return it to me. No money for the dead bullock, he said angrily. So Algu decided to refer the case to the panchayat. Now for the second time in a few months, preparation for holding the panchayat were made. And both the parties started meeting people seeking their support. So always when panchayat was going on, they'll seek support. Okay. Few of you, please support me. And this is how you're getting likes for your videos. The same way, they'll also get support from people, village people. Right? Next. The panchayat was held under the old banyan tree. Algu stood up and said, "The voice of the panch is the voice of the god. Let Sahu nominate the head panch. I'll abide by this decision." So children, with this session, I'll finish off. We'll see you next.